B-roll, we could see exactly how the game rolls out.
We can have a look here and see how it works. So, yeah, so you're saying, again, so it's invincible robots versus
invincible guards.
Invincible guards, right, okay. So
and there are a lot of mechanics I didn't explain yet, but we'll see them while the footage is running.
Okay.
So now the first we'll see is the side of the robots. Yeah. So keep in mind, they're invisible. Their goal is to destroy the extractors, not do direct conflict with the guards.
Okay, so let's do, we got like, like I said, around 30 minutes of gameplay to look at, so we've got plenty to dissect here. You guys, you're basically going to talk us through it while we observe, and we'll throw our questions at you, and you
definitely throw everything you got at me.
This is just right at the start of a round, right?
Yeah, this is actually a short tutorial video that we usually show for beginning players. It won't be part of the final game.
Okay.
But
so we're playing as the Invisivoid.
Now,
do they have names, the teams?
The teams at the moment are the Warconics, it's the type of robots, and the Enforcers. That's the two names.
Okay.
So we start invisible. That's what you see. You see the hands, they're like transparent. You're entirely invisible to the other team when your hands are like this.
Okay, excellent.
So you want to sneak around and trying to find an open spot to destroy those 6 extractors. You can see them. They all project big rays of energy.
Yeah, the beams in the air.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this guy is trying to sneak up and get. So as soon as you go near the extractor, you're revealed, right?
No, you need to punch it. You can stay close in extractor while not moving and then doing anything, and you'll stay completely invisible.
I see.
So you can really
survive the friendly.
Exactly. That's another mechanic that I didn't explain. We can see a little bit in the teaser. Is the robot? They have these nifty tricks. They can actually revive each other with no limit.
Okay. I saw he just did like 2 punches and then quickly ran away. So a little bit of chip damage on
it is a good strategy because there are a lot of things to consider. Because your objective as a robot is to destroy all 6 extractors. So at the end, you'll have a last one. And you want to make sure that the last extractor to destroy is not in perfect shape, or it's going to take more punches.
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of have to chip away a couple of extractors. And by doing so, you're also you're taking away a way for the guards to recharge their weapons. Because that's another mechanic that we'll be showing when we show how to play the guards, the other side.
Right, okay.
They need the extractor to recharge their weapons.
I see.
While destroying few.
Yeah, and there's no need to attack the guards as the ghosts because you can't hurt them.
Exactly. You can punch them away. It's just going to push them a little bit away. You can displace them so you can run away, but it's not about direct conflict. If you directly confront a guard as a robot, you're going to get destroyed very fast.
So do the robots have lives, or do you have to rely on teammates reviving you to stay in the game?
You have to rely on your allies on that. When you actually get deactivated, we prefer say deactivated because
technically you're not alive. You're
exactly. That's a good point. So you can be revived by your allies at any given moment. There's no other way to get back to life.
I see. So if all of you are dead, that's it. You're out.
Exactly. That's how you can actually lose as a robot. It's the only way.
Your whole team.
All your teammates and yourself get deactivated at the same time. So for the guards, you'll see that on a little bit of other gameplay we got for the guards. It's pretty hard to actually manage to deactivate the 3 robots at the same time.
They can revive they've got a range on the revive as well, right? So
you gotta bunch them together. You gotta have a strategy about it.
Okay, and also I was just going to say, so is there a time limit for the robots to deactivate all the cylinders, or is it just...
At the moment, there's none, but the game, forgot to mention it, is far from complete. We're like halfway through production. So at the moment, there's none, but we're thinking about something to limit the game without being too boring of just a time limit. But we'll think of something. For the moment, there's no time limit.
Okay,
and
so
from what we've experienced, games are about 5 minutes long, very short games.
Okay. And is it usually the robots or the invincible dudes who are winning then?
Of course, our objective is for it to be very fair and balanced. At the moment, it's going to be never-ending work trying to get the balance right. But at the moment, the robots are a slight advantage.
Okay, is that because of the reviving, you think?
The reviving thing, the abilities of the robots that I didn't explain yet. Well, I'll get to that. There's a lot to explain.
We're actually looking at the guards now.
Yeah, now we'll be looking at the guards.
Okay, awesome.
So we had like a lock-on beam.
Yeah, this specific guard character is called a liquidator. He's very aggressive. He's an offensive, defensive character. So he's got a tracker shot. You'll see it in action on the gameplay.
There we go. There's the tracker shot. Yeah, so you can play as different guards then. There's like the different weapon loadouts.
Exactly. At the moment, we have 3 different robots and 3 different guards. But of course, up to launch, we'll have a lot more to add to the game.
Excellent. So what's this character here then? It's a different one.
No, this is the Liquidator, actually. So he's got mines, proximity mines he can put anywhere on the map to actually alert of the movement of the robots. And he also got his tracker shot. You'll see it in action pretty quick. So if you land the tracker shot on a robot, your 6 follow-up shots will find the robot wherever he's hiding.
Okay, that's it. So even if he's literally invisible, it'll just go
anywhere.
Lovely.
Unless he's behind a wall or something.
Oh yeah, so then you'll get literally physically obstructed. There you go. There's the tracker shot going down.
He knows the robot is in that way, and knowledge about the robot's movement as a guard is crucial. It's actually the only thing you care about. You want to know where the robots are.
And also, maybe if you when you disable a robot, can you still see where you disable them? Is their body there? Or?
Yeah, that's another thing.
So
when a robot is disabled, you have to guard its dead body, because this is what the other teammates will try to get to. They'll try to get a way to find and revive their allies. So you have to protect those dead bodies.
So even if when they revive, are they briefly visible so you can see them, and then
not even slightly? So if they manage to do it very stealthily, you'll just turn back and
they're gone.
The robots you were guarding is gone, and his ally too. They broke gone. You lost.
Okay. Oh.
So actually, when you're playing guard and you manage to get one robot down, it becomes your main objective to make sure it doesn't get revived.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can win.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Do you get like a notification when you've trapped because obviously if there's a robot that's invisible and you throw your mine out and it hits him, other than you actually seeing that mine
you get a little flick sound of the robot, and the robot also has it. So when he's tracked, he knows he's tracked. He's got this flick sound, so he's in trouble. When you're tracked, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not a big deal.
Yeah, because you can be revived.
Yeah, exactly. And also you mentioned that the guards, they need these cylinders to get power for the weapons, right?
Yeah.
So the more that are destroyed, the harder time you're going to have.
The slower they can revive, they can recharge as well. When the extractors are damaged, they recharge slower. So it's part of the strategy as a robot as well, is to choose which extractor to strike, which one to damage, to actually take out this resource from the guards.
Okay, that's interesting. So what kind of map diversity do you have on this game then?
At the moment, we have only one map.
Okay.
But of course, this is something we want to improve on, and we want to create maps that are not just reskin, maps that are very different layouts that really change the game a lot. Yeah. We actually thinking about a game that would be more vertical.
Yeah.
Maybe a map that would be more like a canyon. We're thinking about things that will be...
Things that are going to make it so that you have to develop a different strategy for each.
Exactly, we cannot just do the old same thing. Reskinning the map wouldn't be a good idea. But at the moment, we are focusing our efforts on nailing the characters and the abilities, and then we're going to be doing more maps and stuff.
Okay, so yeah, get the core sort of gameplay sorted,
make sure that's
sure it's nailed down, then you can sort of add different maps and different ways of playing that way. That sounds like a good idea. So, what kind of strategies will we see coming out from? What kind of strategies have you seen in your own playtests? Between yourselves, what's the best strategy to do to win on either side?
Well, when you're playing
robots, so when I play it, I know and I can instantly
a couple of tricks, to know. When you're playing robots, I'd say the most important trick that would be that you won't have the reflex to do is to don't stand in a group. When you're playing robot, you need to spread around. You need to sneak your way, create distractions instead of just staying as a group. Because yes, when you're in a group, you're 3 robots punching extractors. It's going to take 3 hits when you haul, 4 hits if you all hit at the same time 3 times. It's 10 hits. So it's going to be very fast, but you're all bunched up together. So if you're all taken down at the same time, the game is already over. So really spreading around, all doing your own mission, but coordinating as a team is very important. I'd say it's key number 1 as the robots.
For the workonics.
Workonics robot. As for the guards, I'd say that keeping an eye on the dead robot is really
the key one, really.
Very key, because you will never win. You need to create a perimeter and protect it. What you can actually do as a guard is to push the dead robot around.
Oh, you can do
that? You can push it, so we can place it somewhere we'll be able to defend better. It's actually
2 bodies
somewhere
together.
You put a bunch of them together, and there's a character called the Builder. He actually can make walls.
Right.
These very thin walls, they can be broken in 1 hit. but still,
that's going to reveal them while they break that, and then you can.
And they cannot be revived through walls. So you can actually create some sort of
like an area, sort of like a prison or an area where there's only one way in to get to the revive, so you know they have to come through either a canyon or an area that you've designed that you have to go through.
And there are a few spots on the map that are made for that, and it's a good strategy, and it's not what first players don't usually do that. They concentrate on, I got one down, I got another down, and another down,
and just running around.
Okay, I didn't win because
you might have downed
the same one 3 times.
Exactly. So that's another key.
The game's not really about fragging as much as it is about just teamwork and
doing quite a lot of strategy,
taking them out at the same time.
Teamwork is really key in our game design. We wanted a game that you require your team to work together to achieve it. So I don't know how this game progresses, but I think the guards actually managed to kill all 3 robots at the same time because they all bunched up at the same place.
Yeah, there's 2.
It
just got revived. Oh no, one's down.
What happened there is it looked like he was trying to revive him, and then he just got caught
because
out.
when you revive, yes, your ally becomes full health, but not instantly. So there's a short period of time where both of you are very low health and easy to take down.
You sort of donate health to revive as well?
No, you don't lose health, but you actually regain health, but you start very low, and then it goes up. So when you just revived someone and you were actually low on health, you're vulnerable for a very short amount of time before you get to full. Okay. So that's how bunching up all the robots together can work.
Yeah, because as they get revived, you just keep shooting them and keeping them down.
You just keep dying.
We can see the robot team here. So they look kind of different. They've got a little snazzy.
Yeah, they all
have their own little sort of ways about them. I can see. So you try
and they have different abilities.
Yeah. Let's talk about the abilities then. Yeah.
So at the moment we have 3 robots, and what they have is they each have a different overcharge ability. It's kind of an ultimate ability, but its way of charging is a little bit unique. I'll get to that later, but just the abilities themselves. So you have Bubbles, who's the bubbly robot.
Yeah.
His ability is to create a protective bubble, so no shots from the guards will go through until destroyed. So it's good to create cover.
I think we saw that a little while back. I think I noticed that.
And then the second character we introduced was Glitch. His ability is more offensive, more aggressive. It's an AoE pushback that also burns a part of the energy. So the guards are all pushed away, and if they're on the higher ground, they all push down, and they lose a part of their energy.
Okay,
it's
so
very
they have
powerful.
to recharge their guns.
Yeah. And the third character we just introduced for Gamescom, we just added it to the build. It's actually the one being played right now. It's called Cyclops. His overcharge ability is a blinding laser. So he targets one guard, and this guard will be unable to see robots in any form for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
So it means that he will not be able to see robots, even though he should.
So he's just working away on this cylinder right now. He's like punched a few people away. I saw there.
Yeah, so. They can all punch.
Yeah. So you can you've got some form of defense, but you know.
Some
so you can't damage them, but you can.
But you need to run away usually. But the other thing is that
he just got taken out.
So now, he's dead. So that's how you see being dead as a robot. You see your teammates, they're trying to get to you, they will revive you, but you also see the guards that are...
So what's to stop a guard? Let's say they had one thing left. What's to stop the 3 guards from standing in like a triangle and just all firing wildly into...
Well, they lose all their energy, and then if they miss,
that wouldn't work. But that would be very strong position if the extractor is full, which in that case is an error made by the robots because they didn't ship away.
It before, so
it's actually a pretty much impossible situation when you have got the last extractor that's full health, protected by the 3 guards. You gotta have a hard time.
Okay.
You need it to be almost finished, a couple of punches at least.
I see what you mean. So if you don't work on that last extractor at all and it's full health, then basically
it's gonna be really hard because not only will they all be looking around, but their weapons will also be recharging extremely fast.
So I noticed that they're like the one robot sending beams to another robot who isn't dead. Is that giving him a bit of health, or?
No, that's the overcharge ability. I said that it was pretty unique how it works. I'll explain it. While the robots, they can do their overcharge ability at any moment. Okay, there's no cooldown on it. But how it works, they need to share charges between each other. So it costs a part of their life, but they both gain 1 charge for the ability. So it's a bit of a sacrifice, But if you have to work as a team, okay, guys, let's charge this one. We need his ability. It's gonna cost us life. You can actually, if you start the game and just send charges to each other, you'll just all start very low, and it's not a good strategy. You need to think, and it's also a way to support your teammates when they are far on the field. You can send them charges from any range. So you see one of your teammates in trouble, you send charges, especially if it's bubbles. You can create this bubble and get away.
So then, with those charges, then can you kill yourself by doing that? By sending so much charges that you'll die?
The maximum, it's 20 energy, so it's the fifth of your health, but you cannot send the last 20. If you only have 20, you cannot kill yourself. But
can the guards, can they see that energy flying around the map
as well? That's another thing. It's they can actually
reveal where they are.
It reveals where the two are. It reveals where the sender and the receiver are. So it's an information that you have to be careful to give away, especially if your friend, is sneaking away and behind, and you're like, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna send you a bunch of charges.
And then all you've done is actually reveal him.
It's a bad idea. So you have to think about how you use your charges. So from what people have experienced with the game, it's an odd mechanic when you have not tried it. When you actually play the game, it's really natural.
But like we mentioned before, it really is. This is really a team-oriented game. You want to play with people.
That's a team-oriented ability.
Yeah, I mean,
Does the game have VoIP, or are you kind of expected to just be playing with friends that you should already know and be able to speak?
Does it get what?
VoIP, voice over IP. Can you talk to each other?
Yes, we just added it. Actually, we added it to prepare for October, because we'll have our first open test phase in October. For a whole weekend, we'll be sending out a lot of keys, so we wanted to have voice com for that period of time, which is very important, because the game itself, we've been playing it a lot at the studio in LAN, of course, so we can talk. We don't need voice com. But when we actually get to the game online, we needed to give players a way to communicate, or it's going to be frustrating experience.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just looking at this character as well, this is a different guard character,
this is
right?
the last guard we just added, again, just for Gamescom.
Right.
He's called a builder. He's the most supporty character we could make. Because of course we couldn't make, with our mechanics, we could make a healer. That wouldn't make sense. The guards are invincible.
Yeah.
So his way to support his team is to create barriers that need one punch to break, but he can still create a fortress with it. And he can also generate recharge stations. So at these little stations, the other guards can recharge their weapons, even though there's no extractor.
Is there a limit to how many shields you can place?
There's a limit, I think, of 3. But I'm not sure.
Can make
but all of this is up to change, of course. It will be balancing the game way before it's launched and way after it's launched.
And this is
somebody's always going to find out the stats.
We actually already, I think we implemented the builder like 3 weeks ago. We already changed all his shield costs and a couple of things already. Just playing internally, we see how we can be better.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a very, very unique game.
I'm kind of blown away. I need to kind of
it's a very, very unique game in a sort of a world where we've got